It's time now for Taking Care of Business, where we connect you with experts in the fields of health and finances. This is the place where you'll find information and advice from experts on topics that affect most of our lives. And now, Taking Care of Business.
Taking care of business. Taking care of business. Taking care of business.
Welcome to Taking Care of Business. Joining me now is Bob Robinson of ATM Real Estate. Bob, how you doing?
Fine, Clifford.
You've been giving real estate seminars, workshops, online tutorials, videos. You're on the cover of the AT&T Yellow Pages. I see you on the front page of the newspaper. Customers have been calling here at the station asking for your contact information. And here in front of me, I have a stack of endorsement letters and testimonials. To say the least, you've been very busy. Now, what's going on with all these toxic loans?
Thank you, Clifford. All the loans out there are not toxic. Some of us in the industry like to call them different loans. And the so-called toxic loans, the consumer should have a strategic exit plan.
Now, when you say strategic exit plan, what exactly do you mean?
Well, a strategic exit plan is a plan in the long term, a plan to look forward to in the future. It's a stark reminder of our current economic housing market. One would ask the homeowner to take a good look at their financial status. Is it good for them at this time? Or should they reconsider and downsize to a lower housing expense?
A lower housing expense?
Yes, Clifford. You see, there are a lot of homeowners that just not paying their mortgage at all. They're not making any payment. They're just living there.
Wow. How could they do that? And what'll happen to them?
Well, if they're not making their mortgage payment and they live in a homeowners association, chances are they have not paid their association dues monthly. And depending on the monthly fee, which can range anywhere from $100 to $500 a month, it could run into the thousands that they owe with interest. The lender have to make this good at the time they legally take the property. In addition to that, there are property taxes on this property. And believe me, if they haven't paid their homeowners association dues and they haven't paid their mortgage payment, chances are they haven't paid their property taxes. And again, this could run into thousands. This expense is also due when the bank take over the legal title of the subject property.
So you're saying that this is why the lender is not foreclosed on their home?
No, I'm not, but I'm not excluding it either. With the backlog of inventory and the numerous government programs, it puts a delay with the loan institution to take back the property when there are association dues that are owed on the property taxes that's owed on the property. If the property were vacant, they would have a lot of liability, not excluding vandalism.
Well, where do you see all of this going? Will the homeowner ever have to move?
Yes, and the time is when. That's why you need an exit plan, a strategic exit plan. Just like one thing for certain, two things for sure, you're going to have death, taxes. You're not going to stay in your property if you're not making your mortgage payments. You got to go. When you go depends upon your strategy. And you can even receive cash from the bank. How you strategize your move depends on you receiving this cash or not.
Now, wait a minute. You mean if I haven't made a payment, I can still receive money from the bank? How's that possible?
Yes, you may. There's a popular United States Treasury Department program called the Home Affordable Foreclosure Alternative Program. In short, most call it the HAFA program, H-A-F-A. That started in April 2010 and ends December 31st, 2012. And it may give the borrower $3,000 for relocation expenses. In fact, you can read that from Sylvia Ford, a testimonial.
Yeah, I have Sylvia's testimonial right here, and it says, I just can't express enough appreciation to ATM Real Estate and the entire team for their outstanding and professional ability to get the job done. In 1987, I purchased my first home. It was a nice condo, Hilltop Green. Bob Robinson was my realtor, and the experience was informative, and the process was absolutely flawless. Bob got me a fixed rate and a very low affordable payment, which included taxes, insurance, and HOA fees. He also taught me rules and principles of the business. I stayed at that location with the same payment until 1999 when I decided to purchase my next home in Hercules. I should have called ATM Real Estate and Bob when I found the home I wanted. But I went with a friend that had recently received her real estate license, and that was a big mistake. She just didn't have the experience or knowledge that ATM did, and unfortunately, I ended up with one of those adjustable rate, low payment loans that quickly goes up. After 5 years, I was forced to refinance to try to find a lower payment. A few years later, the payment again increased to a balloon payment, and that was more than my income. My only resource was to try to short sale my home to get some relief. One day I ran into Bob Robinson while out to dinner. He asked me how I was doing. I was almost too embarrassed to tell him of my dilemma, but I did. He was so encouraging and told me these words: "Sylvia, go home, get some sleep, and call me tomorrow, and we'll get this worked out for you." He never said, "Why didn't you call me when you left Hilltop?" I appreciated that because my loyalty should have been with him in the first place. The next day when I called Bob, he was already on the situation. He assigned an agent to my case who was knowledgeable, kept me informed, and the most professional agent ever. He scheduled an open house for my home on a Sunday, and by Wednesday we had 3 offers for the home. The house was sold. I was able to negotiate with the bank for some of my moving expenses, and the loan was satisfied due to the hard work and dedication of ATM Real Estate and Bob Robinson. Would I recommend ATM Real Estate? I would never recommend anyone but ATM Real Estate. A very special thanks goes out to Bob Robinson, my agent, and the entire team at ATM Real Estate. You guys are simply the best. A believer for life. Sylvia. Wow, Bob, that's pretty amazing. What other programs are there for the homeowner?
Well, in addition to that one, there's the Home Affordable Modification Program. In short, that's called HAMP. HAMP. Then you have the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America program, and in short, that's called NACA. And for the sake of discussion, I'd like to share a little bit more insight on both of those government programs.
Okay.
HAFA is the one that Sylvia Ford was referring to when she received the $3,000 for the borrower relocation assistance. Yes, you can be in your property until they decide to actually start foreclosure proceedings. What delays that process is 2 things. One, they know your home is up for sale with a document called a listing authorization to sell. 2, if you're going through one of these government programs and they have documentation and a paper trail of such, when you go through the HAFA program, it provides incentives in connection with a short sale to avoid foreclosure on a loan-eligible modification program under HAMP. When you provide this program and your lender has proof that you're trying to liquidate your property under the HAFA program, provided you qualify, you will receive $3,000 for the borrower relocation assistance. Under the HAMP program, which is the Home Affordable Modification Program, this one here is for those that are trying to retain and keep their home. The borrower's eligibility is based on meeting specific criteria, including, but not limited to: 1, the borrower is delinquent on their mortgage or faces imminent risk of default. 2, the property is occupied as borrower primary residence. In other words, they have to live there. 3, the mortgage was originated on or before January 1, 2009, and unpaid principal balance must be no greater than $729,750. After determining a borrower's eligibility, an assigned servicer will take a series of steps to adjust the monthly mortgage payment 31% of the borrower's total pre-tax monthly income. For example, if the total income is $4,000 a month, 31% of that is approximately $1,240 a month. Then they will reduce the interest rate to as low as 2%, fixed. If necessary, they'll extend the loan term, not 30 years, but 40 years. Finally, if necessary, they would defer a portion of the principal until the loan is paid off and waive the interest on the deferred amount. Now that's big. This is titanic. And the reason is, give you an example. Let's say your loan balance is $500,000. At a 2% interest, you're looking at $833.33 interest only payment. The length and the term depends on your lender and you being agreeable on the payments.
Wow. Bob, that's a lot of information. If you were in the homeowner's shoes, what would you do with all that you just shared with us?
Well, Clifford, what you do or what you not do can be a game changer. A clear message to the listeners would be, 1, create a strategic exit plan. If you cannot reduce your loan balance to the current market value with one of the government-sponsored programs, consider selling your home via short sale, but not go through foreclosure. Number 2, rent for a little while, maybe a year or two, until the home values start to increase. If not, you'll be right back in the same situation that you're trying to get out of. And if the values of homes are declining, then the rents will decline also. So if you were stuck with a burden loan of a payment of approximately $3,000 a month, and you can rent in a similar location for $1,500 a month, you have a tremendous amount of savings for that month and that year. 3, get informed. Sit down with a real estate practitioner who has the skill level and the expertise, the experience of doing what you want with referrals from customers whom they work with. Cliff, you'll sleep better at night and you'll have a ton of relief.
And I know you happen to be a real estate expert, Bob, so I'm going to recommend people call you. One of the things that you've talked to me about before, though, is people get letters in the mail and they just ignore them, letters from their lenders or from their banks, and they just don't open them and just ignore them. What do you say to those people who are receiving those letters?
These letters may come certified. These letters may come by regular U.S. mail, or they may come Fed Express. Most of the consumers and homeowners, they take these documents without even opening them and put them in a shelf or a drawer. Back in the day, you would hear the cliche that said cash is king. Today, communication is king. And the more documents you send to your lender, it opens up a dialogue. It does a couple of things. 1, it lets them know that you're still in the property, which they don't have as large as a liability. 2, it lets them know that you're not ignoring them, that you are trying to find a better way forward. So this should go without hesitation to communicate with your lender to inform them that you're trying to move forward in a positive way.
Well, Bob, thank you so much. I want to encourage everyone, if you're in this situation or if you know someone who's in this situation, because this is affecting so many people, call Bob Robinson at ATM Real Estate today, 510-222-6023. That's 510-222-6023. Or you can visit the website, atmhousesforsale.com. That's atmhousesforsale.com. Bob, thanks so much for joining me on Taking Care of Business, and we'll talk to you again soon.